In a quiet moment of reflection, Meghan Markle opened up about a childhood secret that runs in her blood, a knack for spotting bargains. She recalled, almost with a smile playing on her lips, how she used to cut out coupons from the Sunday paper alongside her mom. "A good deal is in my DNA," she confessed, a statement that now adds fuel to the debate swirling around her early years. What could be more vivid than the sound of rustling paper and a shared giggle between mother and daughter? The memory leaves us wondering, how do these small acts shape a lifetime? In a recent wide-ranging interview, Meghan brought us back to those carefree afternoons when clipping coupons was more than a chore, it was a moment of connection. Sitting comfortably and speaking in a familiar, gentle tone, she described those Sunday mornings as a time of fun and simple victories. Every snip of the scissors and every coupon saved seemed to cast a tiny spark of triumph that she carries to this day. At a well-loved bookshop in Montecito known as the Godmothers, a cozy space run by close friends including a celebrated literary agent and a noted cosmetics entrepreneur, Meghan, 43, shared the small things that make her heart light. In that warm, softly lit room, filled with the murmurs of pages turning and quiet laughter, she recounted the simple pleasures that mean so much to her. It was here that she revealed one of her cherished habits, inviting listeners to see how the tiniest joys can brighten even the toughest days. She spoke of what she calls her pet joys, little moments that bring unexpected delight, far beyond what one might expect at first glance. Among these, nothing shines brighter than the thrill of finding a bargain. Imagine the rush of excitement when a hidden coupon or a surprise sale turns an ordinary purchase into a small victory. Could this be the same spark that lit up her childhood afternoons? In her own words, Meghan explained, "That may be in my DNA from clipping coupons from the Sunday paper with my mom, Doria Ragland, when I was little, but I always feel triumphant when I've bought something on sale or found a coupon code online." Hearing this, one can almost feel the rush of pride each time she discovered a deal, like a secret victory that only she and her mom shared. It's a simple pleasure that speaks volumes about how everyday moments can carry deep meaning. This personal revelation came hot on the heels of more intimate disclosures in her new streaming series, With Love, Meghan. As Prince Harry's wife, she has not shied away from recounting memories that paint a picture of a childhood both ordinary and unexpectedly complex. The series has become a window into a past filled with contrasts, sweet yet sometimes hard to believe. During the second episode of her series, Meghan sat down with Hollywood writer and actress Mindy Kaling. In that relaxed chat, she admitted that much of her childhood was spent on her own after school because her parents were always busy working. Describing herself as a latchkey kid, she recalled those quiet hours waiting for a parent to return home. It's a memory that carries a mix of independence and loneliness, leaving us to wonder about the balance between freedom and solitude in a child's life. Mindy's conversation with her took a heartfelt turn when Meghan recalled, "I grew up with a lot of fast food and also a lot of TV tray dinners. It feels like such a different time, but that was so normal with the microwavable kids' meals." Picture the aroma of fried food mixing with the hum of a microwave, a snapshot of simpler times that now feels worlds away. Even as she noted having a lot of fast food growing up, there's a gentle wistfulness in her tone that hints at both nostalgia and a hint of regret. Yet not everyone agrees with the picture Meghan paints of her early years. This weekend, her estranged father, Thomas Markle Sr., pushed back hard against her claims. He argued that her description of being a latchkey child and living off TV dinners doesn't match the reality he remembers. His rebuttal, laced with a firm insistence, suggests that her childhood might have been different from the one she portrays. Can memories be rewritten, or do they hold on to a single, unchangeable truth? Thomas Markle Sr. didn't stop there. He pointed out that he would pick Meghan up from school every day himself, or send a car if he was too busy, to make sure she was never truly alone. This simple act of care challenges the image of a child left to fend for herself, leaving us with questions that hang in the air like unfinished sentences. At 80 years old, he is not alone in questioning the narrative. Many viewers have noticed differences in how Meghan has spoken about her upbringing over the years. It seems that each retelling brings a slightly different shade of the past, casting a new light on familiar memories. And as these stories unfold, one can't help but feel the tension between public perception and personal truth. Adding another layer to her multifaceted public persona, Meghan recently served as a judge on a popular U.S. children's cooking competition. In this role, she offered gentle, encouraging feedback to young cooks trying to make their mark in the kitchen. The scene was filled with the joyful clamor of mini chefs and the soft, earnest tones of a mentor who knew what it felt like to dream big, even on a small stage. A clip from that show has been making the rounds online, a moment where Meghan speaks to a young cooking prodigy about how the dish in front of her stirred up memories of her own youth. In that brief exchange, the kitchen filled with aromas and the bright chatter of children, her voice softened as she recalled flavors from long ago. It was a scene that felt both intimate and striking, leaving viewers eager to learn more about the connection between food and memory. She described the dish in a way that turned a simple meal into a vivid recollection. "This dish reminded me of the kind of food that I grew up eating in California, like that real, farm-to-table, sort of fresh, really simple ingredients," she said. Then, with a warm smile, she told the young chef, "You did a good job." In that moment, the kitchen seemed to burst with the colors of sunlit farms and the simple joy of honest food, making one pause and savor the memory. Yet there is a striking contrast here. On one hand, we hear of a childhood marked by fast food and TV dinners. On the other, a reminiscence of fresh, farm-to-table meals from sunny California. How can these two images of the past coexist? This dissonance is at the heart of the debate about her true upbringing, a debate that continues to simmer in the background of her public life. In her own series, Meghan also brings up memories of her time in the garden, a place where she first discovered the magic of planting. It is in that garden, under the soft hum of nature, that she fell in love with watching things grow. The story paints a picture of a young girl surrounded by the earthy smell of soil and the gentle rustle of leaves, a vivid counterpoint to the story of a latchkey kid. Each memory is a brushstroke in a complex portrait of her early life. In a chat with Korean-American chef Roy Choi, Meghan spoke simply and honestly about her love for gardening. Even as he admitted, with a touch of humor, that he was not very good at it, she described how those moments in the garden were some of the most real parts of her childhood. Her words felt like a soft invitation to step outside and feel the earth beneath your feet, to taste the freshness of life that comes straight from nature. She recalled a time in her school science class when they spent many hours in the garden. "I was probably about 10 or 11, she said, describing how they learned about composting and the natural cycles of growth. Imagine a classroom where the lesson is not just from a book, but from the living, breathing garden outside the window, a lesson in patience and wonder." She went on to share a memory that is almost poetic in its simplicity. "I loved, as a kid, I planted this thing and would sit there patiently waiting, and then suddenly you go, it's grown and I can eat this, and it makes you so grateful for food." Those words carry the weight of many quiet afternoons spent watching life unfold, leaving us with a lingering sense of gratitude and a touch of awe. This tender recollection paints the picture of a girl nurtured by nature, who learned early to appreciate fresh, organic produce, echoing the farm-to-table meals she later praised on that cooking show. It is a memory that ties together the simple joys of gardening and the deep-rooted pleasure of good food, stirring the heart in unexpected ways. Still, these reflections on her early years are not the first time Meghan's childhood has sparked debate. In fact, questions about her background have been raised before. Critics have noted that the story she shares on her streaming series does not always match earlier accounts, adding another layer of mystery to her past. Back in 2021, Meghan wrote a detailed 1,000-word letter addressed to top lawmakers, the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and Senate Leader Chuck Schumer. In that open letter, she pleaded for paid parental leave and painted a picture of a childhood that was far from easy. It was a plea not just for policy change, but for recognition of the struggles she endured. In that letter, she described living on a $5 salad at a well-known family restaurant, a small meal that, despite its low cost, carried the heavy taste of financial strain. The memory was sharp. Eating out for $5 was a rare treat, a moment that reminded her how hard her parents worked to make ends meet. She wrote, "I grew up on the $4.99 salad bar at Sizzler. It may have cost less back then. To be honest, I can't remember, but what I do remember was the feeling. I knew how hard my parents worked to afford this because even at $5, eating out was something special, and I felt lucky." These words echo with the sound of hard work and the bittersweet joy of small luxuries, a feeling that still resonates with many. She also recalled that as a Girl Scout, when her troop gathered for a big celebration dinner, they often ended up at that same salad bar or at a modest pasta place. It was not about extravagance, but about making do with what was affordable. The simplicity of those gatherings adds another layer of reality to her story, making us wonder how much our own memories shape who we become. Meghan didn't stop there. In another part of her letter, she recounted the many odd jobs she took up, waiting tables, babysitting, and piecing together small gigs just to cover the little expenses of everyday life. I worked all my life and saved when and where I could, she wrote, admitting that even saving was a luxury when every dollar counted. This honest recounting of her struggles brings a pause to the reader, urging us to reflect on the cost of survival and the value of every small victory. Yet, while these heartfelt memories suggest a life of financial hardship, many critics point out a different picture. They argue that Meghan was raised in middle-class comfort in Woodland Hills, in a home bought by her father, Thomas Markle, shortly before she was born in 1981. This claim adds a twist to the narrative, one that pits heartfelt recollection against public records of privilege. After her parents, Thomas and Doria, split when Meghan was just 6, they managed to keep things friendly. Despite the cracks in their family life, Meghan has shared a close bond with her father, and it is widely believed that his Hollywood earnings played a big role in her world-class education. This connection, steeped in both love and controversy, leaves us with a story that is anything but simple. Her father made sure she had opportunities. He sent her to a private school known as Little Red Schoolhouse in Hollywood, a place where former students include names like Elizabeth Taylor and Judy Garland. At this school, children were even treated to 6 types of organic vegetables from the school garden every week, a detail that contrasts sharply with the image of scarcity she once painted. Then there's the story of fortune. When Meghan was 9, her father won $750,000 in a lottery. That windfall helped fund her education at one of Los Angeles' top Catholic schools, which costs around $16,000 a year. This sudden boost in resources seems to stand at odds with the financial struggles she later described. Every day after school, young Meghan would visit her father on the set of a hit TV show called Married, with Children, where he worked as a lighting director earning an estimated $200,000 a year. Imagine a young girl stepping onto a bustling set, the clatter of equipment and the bright stage lights mingling with the steady reassurance of her father's presence. This final piece of the puzzle leaves us hanging, questioning which of these stories is the truest reflection of her past. Each of these vivid snapshots, from the quiet thrill of coupon clipping to the bustling sets of television, paints a complex portrait of Meghan Markle's early life. The echoes of fast food and TV dinners blend with memories of fresh vegetables and sunlit gardens, leaving us with a narrative that is as layered as it is surprising. As the debates continue and new details emerge, one can't help but feel that every chapter of her story only deepens the mystery. What will the next page reveal?